What's up, everybody? Condo owners, townhome owners, and first-time home buyers. This is absolutely something I want you to hear. What if I told you that your HOA premiums could go from $250 to $800 just like that? There's nothing you can do about it. Would that concern you? It certainly should, and I'm going to dive into a phenomenon that I've seen happening more and more around the state of Colorado. And I want you to be in the know to be able to make the right decision when it comes to managing your real estate asset. What's up, guys? Jeremy Kane, eXp Realty, living in the Denver suburbs. And this is absolutely something that I want to bring attention to. But first, if you're here, I do things like this often. I am staying on top of the market. I'm out there showing homes. I don't have a bunch of showing assistants and people and sitting at my desk all day. I am out in the market and I love bringing that information to you. So if that's something you're interested in, if you're looking at buying or selling, I would love to be your real estate agent. But if not, you can watch my content and definitely learn a few things. Please like, comment, subscribe, and we will go from there. But this is serious. I was just at a listing this week. I was showing my buyer. It looked great. On the printout, it said the HOA premium was $320 a month, a very normal number for what we see in Colorado and in Lakewood, which is where I was. I then the client had a little bit of interest. I called the agent and he said, hey, on January 1st, the HOA went up to $640. That is a 200% increase. $300 this HOA went up just like that, right? And I did some math, and on a $500,000 condo with 3% down, a $300 right off the bat increase in your monthly output for the home, for your mortgage, HOA, insurance, all of those things, is identical to an entire point. It would be just like if the interest rate went from 6% to 5%. We're so focused on these interest rates, and the market celebrates when we go down a quarter point. Well, I'm here to tell you that as of January 1st in this community, they lost an entire point, one whole percentage point, because their HOA went up. And, typically something like this might be considered a special assessment. This is the monthly premium. So what's that mean? What can you do about it? Well, the truth is not really anything once it's happened, right? Essentially, you're kind of at the mercy. What I think is going to happen is we're going to have, a ton of problems with these HOA complexes. The medium-sized ones are really the one. I was talking to the representative of this specific HOA, and he said, yes, all of my, HOA communities premiums have gone up due to the insurance premium that we're talking about. And he said, but in the bigger 200, 300, door complexes, it, maybe went up 100, 150. But in these smaller, under 100 units, it is absolutely, taking a huge toll on their monthly output that they're required to do. And there's not much they can do about it. I asked him, what are we doing? He's like, there's nothing we can do. We can shop insurance companies, but at the end of the day, the premiums are the premiums. And, just for a little bit to step back and understand that, a study in March 23 revealed that nearly 52% hike in premium for Colorado homeowners, right? Between 2019 and 2020. So that's a 50% hike for the average homeowner, right? So this isn't just these HOA complexes. However, a homeowner has a lot of options to play with the premium. They can lower or higher the deductible. They can shop insurances. There's a ton of options, which, come with a little bit of risk. But in these HOAs, you have no real say unless you're going to these meetings and doing it. But at the end of the day, you have to have an insurance policy to, protect the HOA community. And so sometimes there's not really any options or anything you can do. And so that's that. And I was in a meeting today. Colorado is the fourth highest insurance premium state. So that is also something. So if you're not in Denver yet, or maybe you're like, whoa, this is crazy, understand that Colorado is very high in insurance. And actually for property taxes, we're still, even with the recent increases in the low portion of the country. And just to kind of drive this point home just a little bit, the average homeowner's insurance cost in Colorado is now $25.80, not to be confused with $52.80, which is over 40% higher than the national average. So we are a lot higher as it goes due to, we have hail, we have fires, we have a ton of things based on our location that make insurance expensive. So absolutely, when you step back and think about this, you're like, holy cow, what am I gonna do? If you're an HOA homeowner, I would definitely be paying attention to your HOA meeting minutes. If at all possible, I would look at trying to take the equity that you've gained over the last few years and maybe going somewhere where you have a little bit more control. Some people that bought in the last 2 years may not be able to do that, and it's going to be okay. However, you may see a pretty severe hit to your property cost if one of these big premium hikes hits your HOA. Because here's the deal, people that are in townhomes typically are the downsizers or maybe the first-time home buyers. Typically, if you make all the money in the world, that's when you go to the dream homes and all of that. And so in townhomes, typically we're all limited on income. It doesn't even matter, townhome or not, we all should be limited on our income and budget. And so when that happens, your buyer pool is typically first-time home buyers or people looking to downsize, right? Well, if it's that much more for the first-time home buyer and they're battling these high interest rates and now the taxes have gone up and now the HOA premiums are going up, that's going to really affect their buying power. And if their buying power is lower, then due to those high HOAs, then naturally those prices are going to come down a little bit. And so I want you to hear me out and understand that you could be okay. If your HOA is really managed well and ahead of that with the budgets and things like that, you might be okay. But as these premium hikes come, when the premium comes due each and every year, that's massive. Like, we're not even talking special assessments. The thing about special assessments is it's a one-time thing, and typically we have insurance coverage in those HO6 policies, our personal homeowners insurance that we're, tacking on to the exterior maintenance HOA insurance. It's in there typically. And so that's why this affects, and it's a straight dollar for dollar, right? If it goes up $300 across the board, then great. There's also a news story out there that I'll link below. Castle Rock community went up 600%. Their premium went in the 150,000 range up to, $1 million, right? Above $1 million. And so I think their HOA is now $800. And so I just want you to know that it's not these little specific niche communities. This is something that's a result of the elevated insurance premiums that are coming down the pike. And so pay attention to your HOAs, get involved in those meetings, and make sure that if you do have the opportunity to maybe move to a single family home, you may want to consider that, because if you kind of get stuck behind the 8 ball, sure, maybe you could rent it out and, it's eventually going to be handed on to the renters, I guess. But that's going to affect, if you're paying $600 a month to an HOA, there's no return, there's no principal buy down on any of that. So the investment quality of those townhome communities and condo communities may really be affected here. So absolutely, I urge you to get involved in those HOA meetings. Maybe you didn't care about it before, maybe you should now. And I also want to point out that there are HOA communities that do not include insurance, kind of the detached, kind of the new age 90s and up builds, typically, have, HOAs that are kind of self-organized or whatever. It's the attached communities where the exterior with maintenance insurance cost usually comes in. I mean, who knows? Could we see some sort of move away from the HOA insurance premium? Maybe. If I'm in an HOA community and I'm on a board, I'm talking about what that looks like, and I'm trying to find an insurance agent that can absolutely help. If you need an insurance agent and you're on the board of an HOA community, I got one that specializes in these communities. And I talked to him and he said, truly, it's just kind of the nature of the beast. He said, we may be able to get a cheaper premium, but maybe not. It just depends on where it's at, where it's located, the fire danger, the, hail risk, and so on. So definitely something to look out for is this, phenomenon that's kind of coming across, as a shock, as it should, especially to these people in these HOA communities. And finally, I just want to reach out to those, buyers out there, the first-time home buyers, and understand that this is going to be okay, but it just may limit your purchasing power, right? And I would definitely, if you're, moving into a townhome community, just getting into home ownership, absolutely keep your eye on it. It's not to say that you shouldn't move in there. In fact, you might get some deals, maybe some concessions to help cover a couple years of that raise or whatever that might be. But understand that, it is what it is. And this may just be another cost that's added on. I think what this will do is probably pretty much even out the, purchasing power, where you now can afford a $500,000 house or a $375,000 condo, whereas before, maybe it was $400,000 condo, $450 for a house because of that HOA and the difference. You do get a discounted personal insurance policy, but now if we're paying that much on the premium for the HOA for that policy, it's, eventually going to, cancel out, where now more than ever, a single family home, you have a lot more purchasing power. And so if you want to discuss this, if you're in an HOA community, let's reach out. I want to know what's going on in your communities, so I can be of assistance and we can have a conversation about what we can do, how we can, best move forward for you. And, sometimes it might be, hey, you're going to stay there. This is what it is. Keep an eye on it, get involved, and do everything you can to make sure the affordability stays within range. And so I hope that helps you guys out. This is something that has just come across and that I've realized in the last literally this weekend. And then I started looking into it and talking to insurance people and lending and all of that. And this could be a serious problem if you're in an HOA community that really has a huge increase. And if that's the case, let's talk about, possibly, selling it or whatever we have to do to help you maximize this asset. And, I want you to know that I will come at it from a consultative point of view. Like, what can we do? We're going to solve this problem for you if in fact you are behind the 8 ball already. But if you're not and you're looking to make a move, let's have a conversation, because I would be happy to help you, make that decision and potentially save you hundreds of thousands of dollars in property, value loss if, you have one of those kind of out of control increases that's coming your way. So like, comment, subscribe, share this with anybody and everybody who you might know that lives in one of these communities, and I will absolutely be available. There's a link below, and you can chat with me anytime. You can shoot me a DM on any of the socials at JKCO Realtor _ on Instagram. But this is something I want to help you get ahead of, and we can make a plan. And that plan, again, maybe, hey, we're going to stay here. We're going to, do what we have to do. And it very well maybe, hey, let's move. Let's get this done. So I'd be happy to help. So I hope that this hasn't affected you, and I'm not preaching to the choir, but I do think that it will be something that we talk about and one of the headlines for our real estate market in 2024. Have a good one.